Sue Ellen. Every girl over 25 should have a cucumber in their house.
God damn, that went way over my head as a kid. So I used to rent this movie a lot when I was a kid. Blah, blah, blah. Like and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Did you know that 98% of people who watch this video aren't subscribed? Blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit? We open on Sue Ellen and her friends discussing her new freedom over the next few months. Not only from her mother, who's going to be in Europe, but from her younger brothers and sister as well, since she has a plan for them.
Kenny will watch Zach, Melissa will watch Walter, and I'll have Mom's car.
And we get a peek at the dysfunctional family that Mom just can't wait to get away from. Let me tell you now, I'd be just as fucking thrilled to get away from my daughter who burns dead cockroaches or possibly kills cockroaches with a magnifying glass.
Fry, you suckers.
Stop, it's Tweeter.
My son who steals from me.
Elvis needs fresh water.
My other son who's gonna end up killing a goddamn leprechaun in a few years.
Fuck you, Lucky Charms.
And then there's Kenny.
Give me a break. You haven't taken out the trash in weeks and the lawn needs mowing and your room looks like a disaster area.
Like everything you need to know about this dude is laid out with this one sentence.
Rock and roll!
I'm not gonna lie, I thought this dude was really cool when I was younger. Now he's leaving as Swell is arriving, and through a little bit of manipulation and smooth talking, she's doing her best to reassure Mother that everything's gonna be fine in her absence.
Relax, Mom. Everything's gonna be great when you're gone.
She's got it under control. What she didn't count on, however, is that her mother was gonna see right through that kind of bullshit, and she was well prepared for it.
I'm Mrs. Jurek. I'm the babysitter.
And none of the kids are remotely happy about this, but they have no say as Mom is about to depart, leaving behind an envelope with Miss Durak containing some cash for groceries and a little bit of spending money. And the minute she's out of the driveway, shit gets real.
All right, you little maggots, now line up.
God, she doesn't even like Elvis. What a trunchbull. She's giving out homework.
I expect a complete report tomorrow morning on the life of the aardvark.
Interrupting dates. Kind of young for a date, don't you think?
Time for little girls to dress like little girls.
But for real, like, what the hell happened to this old battleaxe to make her derive such pleasure from others' suffering? Best of all those when she steps foot into Kenny's room about has a goddamn heart attack. Frustrated beyond measure with the new rules, Walter, Zach, and Melissa march into Swell's room demanding that they get rid of this old bat. As luck would have it, nature kind of took care of that for them.
Durak? Move?
Now, not knowing what to do with the body and terrified of being blamed for her death, they cram her into a trunk and then drop her off at a mortuary.
I mean, we're saving the ambulance people a trip, right?
That's teenager logic. Hey, at least Sue has a sweet-ass car now. And on their way to the store to get some groceries, they quickly realize the money their mother left them is no longer in the envelope, and it's only after tearing apart the entire house they realize that Miss Durak must have had it on her. Fucking bitch. And knowing full well they will quickly succumb without a source of income, the only option is for one of the oldest two to get a job. Leaving it to a flip of the pizza box, our journey truly begins.
Okay, I'll get a job.
The first jobs always suck, and Suel's is no exception.
Hey, you gotta squeeze the fat out of those burgers better.
She's not supposed to squeeze the fat out of the burger for flavor. Now, while getting her hands dirty and flirting a bit with Brian, the delivery guy, Kenny is off with his loser friends, getting drunk and high, and they're just like celebrating the fact that they're not going to get out of high school.
We're never getting out of school, man.
Honestly, these dudes are like one-dimensional parodies of, you know, stoner characters and losers, but it kind of works in this film. They don't need that much depth and identity. Later that night, poor Suelle is at wit's end with a crappy job, but also the annoying boss.
Remember, put on a happy face.
Can I kind of point out it's her own fault? She sucks at washing dishes. Who leaves that much water in a large container and just flops the sponge all around inside of it, like, blah, 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 blah. Shit's gonna get everywhere.
Gross.
I guess she's supposed to be inexperienced.
God, you take these things so personally. The dishwasher's full, okay?
Yeah, that's right, they had a dishwasher, but still, even a kid could figure this out. Now, realizing she's utterly miserable, and this kind of pay is never gonna provide for her family, she takes Brian's advice and just walks out.
Thanks for your advice. Maybe I'll see you around.
Now the pressure's really on. What do you do when you're that young, you're inexperienced, but you're hot? You lie. You manipulate. You do whatever the hell it takes to get your foot in the door of something a little more upscale. One fake resume and new wardrobe later, Sue Ellen's at a well-renowned fashion company to apply for a secretary position. There's only one small problem, however.
I can't right now. I have to stay and redirect all the incompetents who are coming up here instead of going straight down to personnel like they are supposed to.
This fucking bitch, Carolyn.
You are supposed to go down to personnel.
I have never seen someone spoken down to like that before.
Great big sign that says personnel.
I'll punch you in the mouth!
Now, luckily, Sue Ellen catches a break since after Carolyn walks off for a few moments, the VP Rose walks up and they have like this little moment together.
Where's Carolyn? Mouse brown hair gives you a headache?
Talks like she's chewing her face.
That's her.
She ends up looking over Sue Ellen's resume and impressed with what she sees, not really liking Carolyn at all.
I can't stand her.
Who the hell would? She gives Sue Ellen an on-the-spot offer that'd be pretty hard to say no to.
You be my assistant, and I'll just tell him I hired outside the company.
And just like that, Swell's hired. It's weird, because IMDb lists her name as Swell, which I'm guessing is like short for Sue Ellen, but here she officially starts going by Sue Ellen, so... She's quickly given a small tour and thrust behind her desk in her new office. Honestly, I'm surprised she didn't have a fucking heart attack after all this pressure that she must be under now. She also meets Gus, who you can already tell has that same douchebaggeriness fucking emanating off of him, the same way Albert did in Look Who's Talking.
Having my baby. What a lovely way of saying how much you love.
Yeah, Mikey covers this part pretty well, honestly.
Please stop singing that song. She gets sick, I get sick.
Sue Ellen, this is Gus Brandon, Vice President of Marketing.
This guy's just a fucking fast-talking slimeball horn dog.
Nice to meet you.
Good morning.
You know he's just gonna end up trying to rail Sue Ellen. I can't really blame him. Rose exits with some parting words, leaving Sue Ellen alone to get her things organized, and sometime later we find Kenny and her take the kids out. They're having a little pizza, celebrating the fact that she's got a new job. I mean...
$37,500 a year.
Shit, you're gonna drown. Joke.
Why not celebrate, right? Things are looking up.
That's our car.
Let's go, let's go.
What are you queens doing in our car?
Liza?
It's a little bit random, I think, but whatever. Well, I had to go somewhere. Now, with Sue Ellen's friends in Europe, Kenny's friends requiring monetary compensation to just come and rescue them.
You mean you'd have to bribe them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely not wanting to call their mom. There's only one other person she can think of to call in a time like this. I kind of love Brian. For nothing more than Sue Ellen's love interest, he's a really solid character. He has that roll with the punches attitude and just kind of accepts what life deals to him, and he only really gets mad and frustrated when something hurts or affects him personally. And that's just a strange amount of depth to have to a character, I feel like, in this kind of movie, but it really works well, and he plays the part extremely well.
No problem. I kind of like being a hero. Me and my trusty steed.
And once home, the kids are tearing the already torn apart house apart even more, and Sue Ellen and Brian are trying to have like a little moment here, but it's just not gonna happen. Overhearing they are out of food, Brian leaves them with some leftovers from his deliveries, and even has the courage to ask her out on a date.
So you want to go to the beach and watch the Grunion run Monday night?
You mean a date?
Yeah, a date.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sure.
That'll have to wait though, because it's Monday morning, 5:30 a.m., and time to get ready for the first official day. Not before taking care of her family. Right on.
Breakfast is served.
Now, strolling right on up to what was once the wrong floor, Carolyn certainly does not miss Sue Ellen trying to slip by.
Where do you think you're going?
Oh shit, this is gonna be good.
To Rose Lindsay's office? I work for her now.
You?
You mouthy little bitch. Moments later, Rose is giving Sue Ellen the big tour. We learn that their company is basically the bowels of the fashion industry, as she calls it, because they don't make clothes like you would expect. They make more along the lines of uniforms, and right now they have a contract for this like chemical plant. It's not too important, but now, Rose gives her the ins and outs of her duties. She puts her to work, but God, this poor girl knows about as much about computers as fucking Jen does from the IT crowd.
I have a lot of experience with the whole computer thing, you know, emails.
I hate you.
Kenny might have been right. We also get a decent little plot twist here. Stepping out to look for a fax machine, Sue Ellen notices a clown dog bag on Carolyn's counter and asks her about it, which leads to this little revelation.
My little brother drives the delivery van.
You know, you gotta admit that's good.
Occasionally, he
He goes out of his way to bring me lunch.
I'll buy it, you know? It makes good drama because of how different Brian and Carolyn have already been presented to us in their tiny, short little interactions. Brian's real caring, he's real understanding, curious. Carolyn's just a bitch. When you get hit with this kind of knowledge, it's a little bit heavier and it's more realistic than you'd expect. Also, though I may hate her attitude, having worked in customer service quite a lot in my life, I can completely understand her frustrations with stupid shit like this.
I need to fax something. How would I do that?
Being an executive administrative assistant, I'm sure you can figure that out.
I remember when Khan got fired from that second job after he got fired from his original job.
Hey, Control S, you morons! It's always Control S!
Control S! Now, with no choice but to just figure it out, Sue Ellen does just that. Man, it does not go well. Luckily, Kathy, God, I love this woman's voice.
Oh, hi, I'm Kathy. So you're Rose's new executive administrative assistant.
She pretty much saves the day by inadvertently teaching Sue how to fax, but even going so far as to offer her help with the QED report.
Well, I'm a whiz on the computer, so if you ever have anything for me, just ask.
Well, hey, if...
Listen to the way she says swamped.
Gosh, you're swamped.
Swamped? Can't even fucking do that.
If you want, are you familiar with the QED report?
Now back at home, Kenny is doing very little as expected, other than bitching about the lack of food, while Sue Ellen is growing a little more confident in her position, as well as herself, and learning not to take any crap from people, especially on the job.
I don't have all day.
I'm an executive level administrative assistant, and when I get those figures ready, I'll give you a buzz and you can run on up here and fetch them, all right?
And somehow this causes her and Kenny to start arguing back and forth.
Look, I just called to say hi.
Aren't you busy at your career?
I don't even really know what Kenny's mad about. She just called to say hello, and he's like upset that she put him on hold for a second or something. Like it's starting this little tiny joke where they're acting like they're a married couple, basically. It's kind of funny by the movie's end, I suppose. Now, Mom also calls here and there, and they worm their way out of letting her speak to Miss Sturak one way or the other. Also, that guy that Sue got all smart with apparently is involved with, if not romantically, at least like bad business ethics-wise with Carolyn, so go fucking figure.
She applied for the receptionist job. Suddenly she's an executive? I don't get it.
While Kenny and Walter are starving at home, Sue is ordering lunch for the office, and when she learns where the money to pay for it will come from, it opens up an entirely new world of possibility. And trouble.
I'm nobody's clown.
Well, at least she's spending reasonably. I mean, she fucking bought groceries, you know. That's not what I expected a teenager to do with access to that kind of money, right? See, part of the reason this movie works so well is in how serious it takes the idea of leaving these kids home alone. Yeah, there's jokes like you'd expect, but there's this real believability to it in that they make Sue Ellen grow as a person and a character. This was an easy to waste premise, if you ask me, but having her grow as a person, not just a character throughout the movie, feeling the constant pressure, slowly coming to a realization of this is what my mom's been putting up with, single, raising us single all this time, it gives her a more understanding, you know, grasp of understanding. For whatever reason, we get a scene next with Zach upset that his girlfriend dumped him, followed by Kenny and his friends getting Elvis high.
Elvis, I'm gonna take you higher.
Don't do that. And their loud music is too much for Sue Ellen, who continues going mom mode on them after he interrupts her bath.
I have been working. I've had a very rough day. Could you turn the music down?
Man, I so sided with Kenny when I was like 15 years old, but now I'm fucking 37, got a kid of my own. Yeah, turn that shit down. Says the guy wearing a fucking Pantera hat. I'm so lame.
What is your problem?
Finally getting a moment to relax, Sue Ellen has her date with Brian. Brian continues to be developed as a, for lack of a better word, interesting character.
They get washed up here on the shore after the highest tide of the full moon.
He enlightens her on things that can be used as a metaphor for their own thing they got going on here. They have the serious talk, you know? What are your plans? What do you want out of life? And it's pretty good, honestly. You like them both. You want to see them get together. It doesn't feel like a throwaway romance just because these kind of movies gotta have a romance. What you're really interested in, though, is seeing where it's gonna go and how Carolyn being his sister might affect things when and if that information comes out. Cutting the bullshit, though, they share their first kiss, and I got nothing to really complain about. They even actually make it awkward between themselves, which, again, gives it more believability.
Because I talked about it, you know, when you talk, you ruin it. You can't talk
And the next morning, things are back to normal. You know, the food's all gone, the house is a mess, that kind of thing. And boy, Sue is in mom mode more than ever.
Look, I am not working to feed your scummy friends, okay? And I don't want your friends hanging around my house. Right. And mow the lawn today, and don't forget to do the dishes, okay? Bye.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Kenny and his friends do the dishes all right. Meanwhile, at work, the douche canoe himself, Gus,
Hi.
he's making his move on Sue Ellen.
Hungry?
What I didn't bother to show you was his bullshittery before this, where he actually pretended to be looking for Rose to ask her to lunch. But he knew good and fucking well that she wasn't there. It was just this slimeball tactic to squeeze in and try to swoop Sue Ellen off of her feet in her absence.
Next thing you know, we'll be sharing a cigarette in post-coital bliss.
Are you talking about us having sex?
Listen to this quick-talking weasel.
Hey, hold on, slow down. You're moving too fast for me. But if that scenario interests you, it can be arranged.
He's one of those manipulators that says something real shocking, and before you get a moment to really process it or respond, he moves on to some less innocuous question to distract you.
And if it doesn't, I was kidding. Rosemary chicken's delicious here.
And make you kind of question. He's a gaslighter in a way. I'm telling you, this dude's a fucking douche.
Very tender.
Give this dude credit as an actor, though. Now, unfortunately for Sue Ellen, her misunderstood reappearance from the elevator with Gus really irks Carolyn, and she thinks that now she's sucking up to him.
Now she's kissing up to Gus?
Unaware of all this attention, Sue is living the high life. She's becoming close friends with Rose, and actually using her very youth as experience for this job. When she recommends to Rose about this new contract they're going to accept for a school district, that kids aren't really going to like the idea of being put into uniforms.
And don't you think that they're kind of plain, kind of boring?
Rose has money on the brain, and so she says things have changed because she thinks Sue Ellen's the same age as her.
Not to mention boosting GAW sales. It'll be absolutely perfect.
They also discuss Gus for a bit, but it's really not that interesting. But listen to this one line.
Sue Ellen, every girl over 25 should have a cucumber in their house.
God damn, that went way over my head as a kid. Now, next up, we get another date between Brian and Sue Ellen. But what really kicks ass about this is this fucking song by Boom Crash Opera. I went and got the whole album after I really sat and listened to this song. It's fucking awesome. God, I miss singing like this. Like, you can hear the fucking singer take a breath. They didn't fucking mute the mic or pause it after every take and make sure everything was perfect. This motherfucker sang this song. Put my goddamn back in my day hat on. But yeah, no auto-tune, none of that bullshit. Just fucking passion with the microphone. Good shit. Too bad this gets interrupted by Buzzkill.
You're gonna have to get off those things.
I guess he's just doing his job. And surprisingly, it's after the date when the real sparks begin to fly. And not because of the chemistry the two share, it's because of the secrets that one of them is hiding. See, it's here that Sue Ellen finds out that Carolyn is Brian's sister. And she obviously doesn't want him to know that she works at the company with his sister because his sister has been telling him about this new backstabber at work.
I mean, all I said was that she's been in a major slump lately because of that backstab at her office.
You can't blame Brian for being angry because honestly, he's not being that pushy. His anger and frustration is palpable, and when he takes up for his sister, he's put in an awkward position because he doesn't know, he doesn't have half the information, and that sucks.
I'm out of here.
It's a pretty sad breakup, honestly. Now, back at home, Kenny is burning breakfast for everyone. Sue Ellen is bitching about the thermostat, becoming dad of the house as well, I guess.
I would like to keep that thermostat at 76, okay?
Now, Zach, still a thieving little shit, and now a bad influence on Walter.
I know, I'll call him in a few weeks when all this is over.
Why'd she even bring the box home? Now, off to work she goes with it, feeling the grind of traffic, watching the world pass her by. And moments like this is when I really understand and grasp how perfect of a choice Christina Applegate was for this. She was so perfectly capable, not that it needed to be done on a dime or anything, but of switching between the characters, being the carefree teenager who just wanted to live her life and party with her friends, and then taking on that role of the mom and becoming responsible. It's just, she was so wonderful of an actress. Now, once in her office, she's surprised to find flowers, which she initially thinks from Brian, but when we open the card, ugh, puke city. Adding more drama on top, Rose bursts in the room to excitedly tell her the uniforms were approved, and spotting the roses,
They're for you. Well, obviously, our weekend away in Santa Barbara was the turning point for us.
yeah, Sue Ellen's a pretty fast thinker, huh? Gus is in for a fucking surprise. And so is Sue Ellen shortly as the two evils are discussing her resume, which Carolyn stole.
You've got to get something better on it than that.
Hell, even Slick Rick realizes their ammo's pretty weak. Now, back at home, Walter's making pretty good use of the petty cash that he stole. And things get interesting here, too, as Rose asks for the QED report, which totally has slipped her mind. And in a panic, she goes looking for Kathy, who's not in her office. And unfortunately for her, Kathy's Kitty's been sick and as unsanitary as can be, much as I love her, she comes in to drop off said report, and who should be the one to accept it but fucking Carolyn, of course, with a big ol' smile on her face. Gotcha, bitch. Even worse is Brian is there as well, discussing his lady troubles, of which Sue Ellen overhears. A little good it will do her. Running for cover, she ducks into the first room that she comes across.
Sue Ellen.
Oh, goddamn. Of course, of all fucking rooms, right?
Don't say anything. I understand.
I just feel so slimy. See, it's funny, I never in my life understood why women chose to use the word slimy to describe a certain type of guy, but like, I totally get it now. He's fucking slimy. That little rinky-dinky ass TV. I know they had better home theater systems than that in those days. Come on. The shit gets even more serious here since the TV's having reception troubles, and when Walter goes up to ask Kenny for his help, he don't give a shit. He's just too busy getting stolen with his friends. So Walter ends up climbing on the roof by himself and inevitably falls, breaking his arm.
Holy shit.
Meanwhile, at work, Carolyn is putting the QED report into Rose's arms, right in front of Sue Ellen, which she thinks is about to just fucking cause a massive explosion in everyone's face.
You let Kathy do the QED report? Uh-huh. Bravo, you really know how to delegate responsibility.
Rose is just impressed that she managed to delegate her orders out and get everything done, knowing how much of a crunch she was under. So, take that, bitch! Before much can come of it, though, she gets a call at work putting her on the spot.
There's an emergency with your son?
Oh, my son.
This is a great scene, too, because now we got Kenny feeling the pressures of adulthood as well. We got two characters that are learning and growing now in this film.
Look, I screwed up. I'm sorry.
Now, he knows he fucked up bad, and it's like everyone is getting a lesson around here on responsibility. But then they get home, Sue Ellen discovers the home theater system.
Where'd you get the money for something so state-of-the-art?
That Zach has bought his fucking girlfriend a diamond ring.
You bought her a diamond? How much was it, Zach?
Elvis has a new bone. Now, realizing she's in deep shit, she won't give up and decides that the best course of action is to buckle down. Work hard. Work overtime. Too bad there might not be a job to do that at.
You were right, Sue Ellen. The students got wind of it last night and held a huge protest.
I mean, Sue did try to tell her. See, with news like that and nothing to lose, Sue takes matters into her own hands. And while browsing the apparel, making some modifications to the clothes,
Rose.
We don't really get to see what she's come up with yet, but we know that when she shows it to Rose, Rose is quite excited and thinks that whatever this is going to save the company. Initiative. Now, with no funding left, as well as the petty cash long gone, Sue can't afford to rent a banquet hall for the show. Instead, she opts to host this thing at her own house, and the only way that that's going to be able to happen is she gets her family on board and clean the shit out of this place. Which, surprisingly, they do.
Come on, what do you say? All right, come on, we're with you. Rock and roll!
It's a montage. One part house cleaning, one part Sue Ellen making dresses. Everyone's improving. Slick Rick overhears a little more information that could be damning to Sue Ellen.
There's nothing left in petty cash. I've taken it all.
And we end the montage with a funny bit where Kenny and Sue argue as if they're a married couple. Also, the two assholes are breaking into her office at this moment too, and they stumble across her ID, which tells them that she's only 17, so now they really got some ammo, I guess.
She's only 17.
Soon enough, the party is on, and Kenny...
Oh, that's Kenneth.
Well, excuse me. It's looking pretty dapper. Things are going seemingly well until Carolyn thrusts a photocopy of Sue's ID in Rose's face.
Grow up, Carolyn.
Well, that backfired horribly.
Oh, Sue Ellen, I was looking for you.
Things get even worse when fucking Gus bursts into the room, skeeving on Sue.
No, I know you said you're not interested.
That's right, I'm not.
I understand why.
Luckily, Rose comes in the midst of it, and the fucking truth finally comes out.
He's been coming on to you?
Rose, come on.
There is no time for drama, however. It's showtime.
We're all adults here, and we have a presentation to get through.
Not just for Sue Ellen, it seems, but Brian as well, as we cut to him and he's driving like he's a man on a mission. Unaware of the fashion show, he shows up in his delivery vehicle and starts professing his love for Sue over the loudspeaker. As if shit couldn't get any more awkward.
And our last model is Becky.
Yeah, shit is about to hit the fan.
You're in big trouble, young lady.
Finally, with nowhere left to run, Sue Ellen comes clean.
I'm only 17. I have a curfew. I just finished high school. I can't even vote yet.
Again, this scene's intensity comes down to one thing: Christina Applegate's acting. When this film needs to go serious, it goes without apologies. Humiliated, surely, she runs off to her room, followed by Kenny and her mom. The guests are just left behind, scattered and confused. Carolyn is confused as to why Brian is here. Gus is in the doghouse. Sue is in big trouble. More adult than ever now, though, after everything she's been through, Sue takes control of the situation.
Tomorrow morning, Kenny will whip up a batch of Belgian waffles and we'll sit down and discuss this like adults.
She just kind of accepts that, yeah, this is bigger than tonight, and maybe it'll be all right. So she heads upstairs.
I'll be damned.
Not before noticing how clean everything is, though. And the home theater system. And moments later, Sue and Rose get a moment to clear things up. And surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, Rose is utterly thrilled.
They loved your ideas. I see nothing but dollar signs.
The shenanigans at the party didn't affect the buyers' decisions at all. In fact, they loved the fact that they brought on someone young so they could actually get an accurate representation or viewpoint from someone in that demographic. Admitting her faults and feeling tremendous guilt even if she did save the company, Rose still believes in her. That's a pretty uplifting message, you know? You can fuck up and people will still forgive you.
I suppose you'll grow out of that.
Yeah, she lied and everything, but it wasn't out of spite. It wasn't to be an asshole or try to bring the company down. She was trying to take care of her family. So yeah, she lied about her age and all that shit. She was a damn good secretary. Now things are turning around for everyone. Hell, even Kenny now has goals in his life.
I was thinking I might go to class more. Why? You know, I might take some home ec, graduate, maybe go to the culinary academy or some shit like that.
Oddly enough, with a solid future laid right in her lap, Sue instead chooses to leave GAW and go to college.
I don't know, I think I'm gonna try college.
I'd have just stuck with a fucking job. Now, we end on Sue and Brian, the only thing left to clear up, and as expected, they fall in love.
So, what are you doing New Year's Eve?
Oh shit, that's not the last thing we need to clear up, is it?
Where is the babysitter?
Now that is the exact kind of ending that I expect out of a movie like this, and I fucking love it. This is a good movie. Like I said, I was being funny at the beginning, but yeah, I rented this one a lot as a kid, and it's one of my favorite movies to just fucking rent. You know, back then you didn't get to watch a movie but every once in a while, so it never got boring, or I never felt like, oh, I don't want to rent that one, I just got it last week, you know. This was one of my often rotated titles when I was a teenager, along with things like Angus and, let's see, Three Ninjas. You know, by this point I was a little bit older. I'm just saying, this is another one of those great movies that's been in rotation for a large portion of my life, and fuck, I'm 37 years old, I'm still watching and enjoying and laughing at this movie like I was Stay Tuned when I was that age, you know? So, there's something magical about it. If it comes down to nothing else than Christina Applegate, I'll fucking take it. She is awesome, and she is the main reason that you gotta watch this movie if for some dumb reason you never saw it. Fucking love it.